I'm going to ask you a question. And before I ask the question, I'm going to ask you to focus in on your body. Be aware of feelings that may come up as I ask this question. Be aware of the thoughts that may just fly through your mind. Be aware of any feelings that start to reverberate in your body. Don't try to suppress them, change them, judge them. They just are. And after I ask the question, I'm going to ask what came up for you. Are you ready? How much money do you bring home annually? Thoughts, feelings, what came up? Plenty, lovely. What else? None of your business, that's right. Righteous indignation. I like that. What else? Enough? Anything else? Fear, yes. You're not good enough. Thank you for your honesty. Appreciate that. Yeah.
And I just retired in that.
There you have it. We're all through that spectrum. Joy. Thank you. Good. Gratitude. Awesome. So we have a big spectrum, and I asked that question to kind of get you here in this present moment, because we're going to talk about what's money got to do with it. Well, whenever the topic of money comes up, we never know what that conversation is going to lead to. It's kind of like the no-go zone that we have for politics, religion, and sex. We're going to talk about it, right? And this is really because so much of our beliefs, our attitudes, our emotions, and our fears about our survival are wrapped up in that one concept: money. Money. So if you hear nothing else besides this next sentence that I'm going to say to you, that's okay. You walk away uplifted. Money is not real wealth. Did you hear me? Money is not real wealth. It may be a device that measures wealth, but what it really is it's an enabling symbol. And when I say enabling symbol, what I'm saying to you is that my lips are so dry. Sorry. It's the money talk. Thank you. So, when we say that money is an enabling symbol, what we're saying is that culturally, we have given money immense power. Immense power. Too little money, and we can feel like a failure, not enough, unimportant, unsuccessful. Too much money, and we can have feelings of entitlement, self-importance, better than. Why is that? Why is that? It's because we have allowed ourselves to be defined by money. We have allowed ourselves to have money tell us our success, our value, our worth, when none of that is really true. Eric Butterworth, you know, my sage, my guru, my go-to, talks about his view on money. It is a tangible representation of intangible universal substance. Money is an enabling symbol that gives rise to faith and trust, credit and cooperation, which starts a flow of activity. Metaphysically, what we're saying here is that the materialization of money, it's the materialization of substance, of spiritual substance. Money is the materialization of spiritual substance. The symbol of money is about the idea of prosperity. The symbol of money is about the idea of prosperity. And because we have created this tangible outpicturing of substance, it allows us to create an economy that we put our trust in money. So, for example, you have either a product or a service that I want. With the exchange of money, it allows us to have cooperation. So there's nothing bad with that, right? It allows us to have cooperation. I get the product or service that I want, and you get prosperity symbolized by the money that I have given to you. It kind of gives us a level playing field. So if money really is about us manifesting into form prosperity, it's one of them, then why do we have all these ideas around money? Why do we have these ideas that money means success? Money is our value. Money is our worth. We have those ideas because we're taught to have those ideas. We are taught that money is about our survival. And we learn this from our childhood, from our parents, from our families, from our friends, from other relatives, and our experiences dealing with money in our childhood, adolescence, and adulthood. So what I want to do today with you is just give you a little taste of reflecting back on your first memories of your childhood about money. What I'm going to do is I'm going to describe my childhood with money, and as I'm talking, please reflect on your own. And then I'm going to ask you the question afterwards for you to reflect on. So in my childhood, earliest memories, I didn't think of or know anything about money. It never came up. It didn't start to have an impact until my parents divorced when I was the age of 9. Prior to that, I could have basically anything that I wanted or needed. So no issues there. The time that my parents divorced, though, money became the forefront in our family. Money for my mom and my grandmother was about survival. If we don't have enough money, we won't keep the roof over our heads. Money, there was never enough of it. There was a sense of lack. I couldn't ask for things because I would be told I'm selfish. Do I look like I'm made of money? Money doesn't grow on trees. I can see some of you relating to that. And so I grew up believing that there wasn't enough, that there wasn't enough money. And to compound that, we lived in a middle-class neighborhood, and we couldn't tell the outside that we had money issues either, because we needed to propagate that we were affluent. Well, those days had gone. So it was a very mixed emotion around money in my childhood, but it was very clear there wasn't enough. We weren't one of the gifted folks that had money, and I'd be struggling all my life because of money. That's what I learned. So just take a moment, please, and just reflect on your own childhood. What messages did you have from your parents? Did your mom and dad have different viewpoints on money? Did you feel rich? Did you feel poor? Did you feel entitled? So as I grew up a little bit and I become a young adult, my mode of operation is not enoughness. Not enoughness. I have to work really, really hard and struggle for every dollar that I earn, and it still may not be enough for me to survive on. It was hard. I learned that it was going to be hard and there wasn't going to be enough of it. So you can see how our childhood belief systems influences us as we become adults. And it wasn't until I got into Unity that I even had a clue that we can make a conscious decision about prosperity in our lives. And there were tools that I learned would help shift my consciousness. But what often happens in unity is we just layer these tools on top of what's existing already with our belief systems kind of driving us still underneath. So I'm letting you know that I want to continue this conversation with you about what are your underlying beliefs around money. There is a workshop that I'm going to offer in July that is going to be entitled Your Money Journal. It's kind of like your money autobiography, where we will look at these questions and deal with what comes up for you. Because no matter how wonderful I tell you these tools can be, if you are still driven by the belief that there is not enough, that you are not enough, that there is not enough for you in the universe, that life is hard, that life is against you, no matter what I preach, no matter what I talk, what's the outcome going to be? The same. So money is. It just is. Money is not good. Money is not bad. It just is. Money is not about our survival or well-being. Did you hear that? Money is not about our survival or our well-being. I can say this because money is a construct. It's a concept that we have been taught, that we have learned, that we have bought into with the collective unconscious, that it is vital for our well-being and survival. It's not so. It's not so. We've bought into the collective unconsciousness that says, I can pretty much justify anything that I do if it means I obtain money or I obtain wealth. And you know I can say this because all we have to do is look at our governments and our corporations as they make decisions that puts the value of money, wealth, way higher than human life. We have gone to war and killed people for economic reasons. What does that say? It says culturally that money matters more than human life. I don't think we believe that here, do we? So I'm asking you really to take your power back. Money just is. We created it from substance, but we also create so much more than that. We create friendships. We create love. We create blessings. We create our families. We create our homes. We create joy. We create opportunities. Oh my God. And we focus on this one thing, money. So as I was thinking about, all right, well, yeah, there's money. I thought, well, where did it come from? Where did money really come from? How did this start the whole craziness? And as I was doing research, I realized that the first coin was invented about around 1000 BC in China. And then I was like, well, how long have humans been around? So Homo erectus, which is the first bipedal being, came into existence about 2 to 3 million years ago. And modern man, who we are, has been in existence for about 200,000 years. It's really small, 200,000 years. And I think, okay, well, that's 1000 BC that the first coin, money thing was invented. It's like 2016, so what were people doing for 197,000 years before money was here? What were they doing? They bartered, of course. They traded. They even used cowrie shells as a currency to trade for things. But the bottom line is that they valued interdependency and relationships before money came along. Interdependency and relationships. Now, Eric Butterworth has talked about our consciousness around money. And I've spent this month series talking about prosperity consciousness, right? And he talks about that there are spiritual laws at play that shift our consciousness to open it up to prosperity. And then he says this: unless there is a change in consciousness, unless we awaken to the truth about our own relationship with the universe and get in tune with our own unique flow of supply from within, nothing has really changed. Nothing has really changed. Quite powerful. So yes, we've talked about a lot of different tools and concepts that we can use, but ultimately it's up to you to decide to shift your consciousness around this issue. But what I want to do in the last few minutes is I want to see what is your retention system functioning like. So I mentioned there was a couple of things up here that could be yours if the answer is right. And I want you to let your inner child out. These are not for your children. These are not for your grandchildren. These are for you to play with. They're not expensive. They're just fun. And so often we need to let our little kids out and say, it's okay to color. Do you know coloring is coming back for adults?
Oh, I know. There's a shortage of colored pencils.
It's crazy. And I'm one of them, you know? All right, so when we started off the series, we did some definitions. The first thing that we defined was abundance. Does anybody remember what we defined abundance as? Dun, 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 dun. It was about 5 weeks ago. All right, so abundance is about plenty to overflow. Right. What about prosperity? How do we define prosperity? Close. Oh, that was nice. You did. It sounded good. Coming from the LUT, that was spot on. It means according to one's hope or expectation. According to one's hope or expectation. All right, you guys are batting pretty badly here. What about divine substance? We clarified that because often we get confused by what people have said around divine substance, and we really simplified it. Divine substance is it's the essence of all that we are and all that the universe is. Right? Okay. Didn't know there was a quiz coming, did you? Obviously not. You are. I heard that. Did you guys hear that they said they would have studied? I could do it again. Nice. All right, and what are affirmations for? What are we trying to sync ourselves to? Affirmations. Close. Positive thoughts.
We're realigning ourselves.
Mm-hmm. You know, I will take that. At this point, I will take that. Thank you. Please pick a gift. Divine in action. So really, we're aligning ourselves to the truth, to consciousness, to the conscious truth of our being. That's what we're aligning ourselves to. Yay! Yay! All right. And how do we live our lives? Where do we live our lives from? That's an easy. Inside out. Thank you. You may take one. Inside out. Yes. Thank you. Yeah, we got music there. And if we want to claim our divine inheritance, what do we have to embrace? A little bit more than ourselves. Our divine self, but really it's about all aspects of ourselves. Because we the good stuff, all the shadow stuff. That's right, baby. Okay? Okay. All right. The law of visualization, how does it work? Mm-hmm. Good. Please come on up. Please. She said you see it, you claim it, you shape it. Okay? So yeah, visualization means that you are in the flow of the universe. And when we are in the flow, that we can see substance. And we can grab that substance and shape it to whatever we need. Shape it to whatever we need. And what happens if we use our visualization skills only for wealth? Only to gain wealth? Carolyn, you going to say something there or just give me sign language? We shrink, correct? Okay, I'll take that. You have a lot of toys? Okay. All right, so there's one up for grabs. You'll take it. She's raising her hands to take it. All right, Kathy, come do your duty. I love this group. Okay, and we say faith is an act. Faith is an act. What do we need to do with faith? Do you remember this? Remember this audio visual? Thank you, Carla. Yes, please come on up. We have to turn it on. Faith is an act. We have to make that decision to turn it on because it is ever present. We just need to make that choice. Awesome. Yes, they do. Yes, they do. Can we manifest from pain and hurt? Well, what are we manifesting? Pain and hurt. There was a curveball there. Yes. So what do we do to shift that? What is the tool that we can use to shift from that pain and hurt? Close. Ooh, who said forgiveness? Okay, well, you got one already. So, Joe, come on up. Forgiveness. Yes. And then since you talked about gratitude, what does gratitude do for us? Great, yeah. It amplifies what we see is our abundance right now. Please, Sabrina, you may come up. And the last thing that we learned was about the spiritual law of giving. Remember that? That was only last week. How does the spiritual law of giving work? It's a practice. Good. Thank you, Bonita. Please come on up. As you give... Are you chiming in?
Yes, I did.
It increases. We can't outgive substance, basically, right? So just being in that flow of giving expands us. All right. Last one. If we are stagnant and blocked, how do we get out of that? Who said give? Oh, you already have one. Well, give is the correct answer. You can give one to someone else, or it could be a freebie. Whichever way it works is okay with me.